Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Cami Brechto, and I am honored to share with you tonight about light and why would you want to ever drink light-infused water. So I want to share with you first, before I get started with a slide presentation, I want to share with you a video recording of me drinking my first glass of light-infused water. We had the honor of being in Florida, and goodness. Okay, here we go. Do you guys see my face?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. This reaction is not, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Not everybody's going to feel this way, but this is not uncommon, according to the inventor and what the science behind what's going on in the body when you drink the water.
We need the sound.
I have to say, when I drank my first today, my stomach just kept gurgling and gurgling, and I could feel things in my stomach moving. So I don't know what that was, but exciting.
Yeah, it was. And so what I want to, I felt energy go up the back of my neck into my head, like sparkles of energy. And then I felt it like go down to my right calf. And I really kind of describe it like I have been going through my life with my eyes half closed, and drinking that water helped me feel like my eyes were open, like right away. And that was the best description I could think of. Now, since then, I've had 2 servings of water and I have not felt the same sparkles of energy. So I don't want to set you up for feeling like that's going to be the case every time. But for me, that was like confirmation. I really wasn't expecting to feel anything. But that was pretty cool, pretty fun. So why should we drink light infused water? When David Schmidt was first introducing this last year at convention, he was doing a play on words, and he was saying light equals life. Where there is light, there is life. And I want to show you a few examples of light positively affecting life. So we have photosynthesis here. That's 2nd grade science, right? Where we are, the sunlight that goes to the plant, the leaves see the light and take carbon dioxide and light and nutrients from the soil and synthesize chlorophyll, which becomes food energy for us and for animals. And the plant releases oxygen as a byproduct. Why else does light equal life? Well, I believe in scripture, and there's a scripture that says in him was life, and the light, and that life was the light of all men, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. When we look at a few slides later, you will see darkness overcoming in certain situations, in certain scans of the body, where darkness is overcoming, and where that darkness is disease, toxins, and not life. And then most of us are aware of the scientific study that the human body emits visible light, known as bioluminescence. And this study was done in 2009. So where there is light, there is life. So again, where there is light, there is life. This is a video of a sperm meeting an egg. Interesting.
Very
So
cool.
they call it a zinc spark. And there is when life begins, there's light. So most of us receive, I mean, we all receive light through our eyes. Obviously, that's how we see. We also have infrared light receptors and UV light receptors. By the way, in our previous session, when we were talking about nitric oxide, UV light helps our body create nitric oxide, lowering our blood pressure. So that's pretty cool if we're not overly using UV light. So anyways, our bodies also have opt-ins. That is what the light receptors are that receive light, and that the light signal frequency tells the body to synthesize different hormones, sets out different amino acids and everything in the body to make it work. So here's an example of all the wonderful things that happen to our body when our bodies are exposed to sunlight. That is full spectrum sunlight, right? From UV, infrared, everything in between, the whole rainbow. So see all of these lovely things. So to me, this is like, it boosts our immunity. How does sunlight boost our immunity? The sunlight must set off different processes in our body to do that, right? It improves our eye health. It improves our brain function, reduces our risk of type 2 diabetes. So our founder, LifeWave's founder and CEO, said, when you understand the root cause of disease, you can help the body to get rid of it. I just listened to an interview of him last week. And so here is an example, not LifeWave. This is a study that I found on the internet of infrared light as therapy for Alzheimer's. So on this view down below, you can see that they're saying that the cells that are treated with infrared light therapy, the one that's green there, is actually healthier, and it's protective against neurodegeneration because of the light. That's pretty significant. Here's another video that talks about injecting something that has infrared light in it in the body. And it's a video that shares how that infrared light affects the body inside.
No sound.
Can you hear it, Jeff?
No, we're not hearing it.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, there's no sound.
Okay. I'm sorry. You see. So it's talking about how the phototherapy is injected into a patient, and sorry, I'm on my daughter's computer and not finding. There's video. That's not it.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you have to share it within the Zoom.
Share computer sound. There we go.
Maybe if you go down to the more.
I'm sharing the computer sound. Let's see if that works.
This initiative was funded by the National Institutes of Health, National Cancer Institute,
That
Division
works.
of Cancer Prevention.
Okay.
You're in it.
Welcome to the Breast Cancer Symphony.
All right. No, that's not it. This is the one. Okay.
Photoimmunotherapy is a new form of cancer therapy involving near-infrared light. Photoimmunotherapy uses an antibody to which a photoabsorbing chemical is attached. The antibody photoabsorber conjugate is injected into a patient. It will travel through the bloodstream and eventually reach the site of the tumor. The conjugate will then leak out of permeable vessels near the tumor. It will bind to special receptors on the surface of cancer cells. Once the conjugate is bound to cancer cells, the photoabsorbing chemical can be specifically activated by near-infrared light. When the chemical has been activated, it causes immediate damage to the cell membrane. Water that is outside of the cell rushes into it, causing the cell to swell. Nearby cells without the special receptors will not be affected. Increased pressure within the swollen cell causes the membrane to burst, releasing intracellular contents such as proteins, DNA, and RNA. The cell then becomes smaller and shrunken in shape, a process known as necrosis. After treatment, the cell necrosis causes the tumor to shrink, creating spaces between the cells. The tumor will die and normal tissue will regrow in its place.
Okay. How cool is that? Phototherapy, light being used, infrared light inside the body being used as a therapy to help get rid of cells that we don't want. Cool is it? So I'm going to share my screen again. We'll go back to the slideshow, but that was pretty amazing for me. Okay, go back to my, okay. So I don't know if you guys know this, but most of us are blue light toxic. And we have toxins all in our bodies from all of different environmental things that we're exposed to, different things that get injected to us, different things like that. But something that we are learning more and more about is the blue light from our screens that we look at. And this is what I found really interesting. I listened to an ophthalmologist talk about how this blue light, most of us are blue light toxic, and blue light, of course, it affects our eye health. It turns off our metabolism. Here is light making change in the body. So the UV light tells our body to release nitric oxide. It turns off our ATP production. It tells our mitochondria not to make ATP for energy. And it tells our cells to make nitric oxide, which reduces our blood pressure, slows us down. So it literally, when we're at the time during the day when we're supposed to be burning our calories, we're supposed to have energy, the blue light turns that process. The byproduct of that turning that process off is that it's dehydrating to our cells. So anyway, so many things we could get into about light and our circadian rhythm and how it's making us unhealthy. But that, you know, we could dive deep. But just remember, when we're talking about light, we're not talking about just the spectrum that we can see. There's a whole broad gamut of frequencies that and typically the bigger the wave, the more damaging it is to your body. But there's, yeah, so that is our light. So sometimes, as we just saw in those videos, we can, or the examples, we can talk about canceling dis-ease by eliminating the negative frequencies and adding light, the infrared light frequency, to our body. So here's some things that also add negative frequencies to our bodies. If you dig into different frequencies, you know, these cause damage to our cells and stress to our bodies. And a way that we can help, of course, get back to natural and organic foods. We're trying to reduce and eliminate toxins in our environment, right? We reduce and eliminate toxins that are going in our bodies and on our bodies. Let me show you a picture of natural and organic foods. Remember that photosynthesis picture where light was making change in the plant and the plant makes chlorophyll? Well, look at this. Like right here, you can see the organic mushroom versus the conventionally grown mushroom. The conventionally grown mushroom would have pesticides and herbicides on it. What do pesticides and herbicides do? They kill life. They kill life. Maybe some of those things we don't want in our bodies. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But those pesticides and those herbicides also kill life when they come inside our bodies. So these are images of Kirlian photography, and they're images of light emanating from different living objects. So you can see an organic mushroom has a lot more light coming off of it than the conventional mushroom. Down on the bottom left, you see the organic broccoli has a stronger light signal coming off of it than the conventionally grown broccoli. So I just want to, you know, make the point that light is life. So here's a video or an image of showing light and dark, right? You can see a healthy cell, and here's an image of healthy cells, and here's cancerous cells, and you can see how dark they are. I don't know. Of course, they're abnormal. There's all kinds of different processes going on in those cells. But what if we can change the processes with the different light signals by adding the right kind of light into the situation? So again, normal brain and a brain that's struggling. So, of course, we talked about reducing toxins in our environment, our food, or personal care products, detoxing regularly, but also make every opportunity to add light into your life, right? So what if water could carry life-giving light signals to all of our cells? Of course, you guys all know that we need hydrated, healthy cells for proper cellular activity. So when we're dehydrated, our bodies are not able to function properly, pain increases, we're not able to flush toxins out. So of course, we just need water to help our bodies. But just drinking plain old water can have forever chemicals in it, can have heavy metals in it, can have volatile organic compounds in it, and different disinfection byproducts and things that are found in our water system. And this is an example of those things that kind of how they cycle through, and our world isn't set up to filter them out. But we have a system that filters out all of the yucky stuff out of the water and infuses the water with light. So here's David Schmidt.
How is this primarily different from, other water filtration systems?
So this is like nothing else that exists in the market. And what I was so excited about is that we got a patent very, very quickly. Basically, what we're doing here is we're creating new matter. We're creating a type of water that never existed before. It's highly organized and structured. So you could say it's structured water, but not in the traditional sense. We're using the water as a delivery mechanism. So the water is a carrier of light. So you drink the water and the water goes everywhere, and the light gets released everywhere in the body. And that can be measured. We had an internal team of engineers, and we had 2 separate companies that we had hired to take the initial prototype that I had built and then convert it into something, that would look nice and sit on someone's counter.
So it looks nice and it can sit on someone's counter, right, Tracy? So I have learned about the light. So when we were at convention last year, he put images like this up on the screen, and he was showing every example of the treated water being frozen and creating some sort of vortex in the water. It behaves differently than any other water that they froze. And sometimes different things would come up out of it, like fish scales, or different things would come up out of the water. And
and you're meaning formations, right? Not
formations, water formations. Yeah, correct. Ice formations. But in every case, yeah, they showed all kinds of funny pictures of the water, but in every case, under the main water level, you can see a vortex with like this shower of light under the vortex. I've learned since, not from David Schmidt, but from actually a heart doctor who unfolded 1,000 hearts. And a heart is actually one single muscle folded 7 times, and the muscle, as the way that it's folded and the angle that it's at and everything, when the blood comes through it, it reacts to the blood and creates a vortex. So the blood is actually what tells the heart to pump. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But the vortex and the blood and the life is in the blood. The light is in the water goes in the blood. Oh my goodness. How cool is that? So many good information, so many good tips and ideas in there about why our bodies respond to light. So David Schmidt talks about the different wavelengths of light and how he derived the frequency of light that he infuses the water in. And these are some of the measurable benefits. And I want you to note here that 80 out of 80 responded. He says in every test of this water machine, he's never had anything like this. 100% of the people respond to the water. In every test that they've done, 100% of the people have a measurable response. In this test that he was talking about, 79 people responded within 15 seconds.
What do you mean by responding?
Well, they're measuring different aspects of the body. They've got them hooked up to different ways that show that show the light within the body, that show the body different processes turning on. And then they take the people's blood and then they have them pee. So they show the response. In this case, they were measuring the light and where it was going into the body. But you can see the results when they take the blood. They can see that these amino acids and different things, this is what the water was causing the body to create. So sarcosine, which is an amino acid that it goes to your brain. You notice it in your brain. And that's exactly what I felt. It expands your consciousness. It improves your focus, processing, and memory. Serine, again, makes your brain work better. Glycine. Glycine is the G of the GHK copper peptide. So that makes the X39 work better, but it gives you that G, the amino acid to bind to the copper to make a copper peptide. Valine, oh my goodness, valine boosts your metabolism. It bumps up your human growth hormone and helps you normalize your blood sugar. Histidine, that's an element of carnosine. Alanine is the A of the AHK in the X49. So the X49 doesn't have AHK in it, but your body needs to have those building blocks to make the copper peptide, AHK copper peptide. So the water tells your body to make these different amino acids and different things. So leucine turns on mTOR for energy and muscle protein synthesis.
Can you go outside?
Super great
Go.
for athletes. And purine boosts your collagen
Can you go outside?
production. And KP pathway is increases your NAD production. So many good things. So these are just the results that he was describing from one test of the water. And I'm going to show you how to get more information about the water and look at more tests. So the cost of the drinking water, the machine costs about $5,000, $4,995. And I show you this example because really, when you think about it, it doesn't work out to be that much money per gallon or per use. So when if you are a bottled water purchaser, and we've gone through different deep dives on what's exactly in the bottled water, and microplastics are a key one. But they have a lot of the same things as tap water. They're just at a little smaller amount, but then they also have microplastics in them. So, so the cost is $4,995 for our machine. But when you think about that per gallon, not terrible, not terrible. So this is new technology that David Schmidt has introduced to us for our good. And I have a link to more information that I'll put in the chat for you guys. And I'm going to stop sharing. And so more research is available on our when you log into your LifeWave account under resources and studies. So that is what we can share with you tonight. And I'm definitely open for more questions. There's all kinds of frequently asked questions. So I'm hoping that you guys have questions so that we can answer. So
I have actually been looking at some of the light stuff just for other issues in my life. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, like when they switch from incandescent lights to the new lights, like I cannot stand the light. So I found myself getting two different colors of lights and putting them in the bathroom rooms and stuff. And then like looking at the light studies and stuff, it's like having just that portion of light is not good. Like you need the whole spectrum of light for good health. So anyway, I don't know. That was kind of fascinating to me.
Absolutely. And that's our
Yeah.
lack of sunlight. Like Tracy showed that slide earlier, that it's really becoming an epidemic. Our
Yeah.
bodies were not meant to be indoors all day long. And
Right.
we were not designed to have blue light staring us in the face all the time. So
Well,
it's
and definitely inside the
Yes.
house, right? For the light that we did have was better than the light that we have now, which is
Yeah.
also causing health
Agreed.
problems for people, you know, just because they think something is better, but it ends up stripping the things that you need, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we have the water is just a mechanism. Of course, it's really good, really clean, double filtered water, but it is a way to hydrate us, but it's also a mechanism for getting that light to get us in our innermost. And like I said, it sets off all those processes to turn on different things in our bodies that get turned off with toxins and the wrong kind of light and all the wrong kind of food, things that are trying to take away our life.
You know,
Little
Cami,
by little.
it's kind of interesting. I love how you use the plant as an example because, you know, you can't grow a plant if you don't have sunlight. Or if you have bad light, you can have grow lights and whatnot, but it's not the same thing. So I like the comparison. I was also
Mhm.
very aware of the sperm and the light thing, how the
Mhm.
flash of light happens. That Nathan and I, we used to sit and study all this stuff every day. I used to work with him. But what I really like about this, because I watched that one thing where the guy said, when you're putting sunscreen on, you're actually introducing toxins into your body. And also, you're inhibiting the light to do what it's supposed to do. I have always gotten glasses with the photosynthesis. So they turn gray, or they
Mhm.
turn dark. And I now realize that's very bad for your eyes. I also found out that the reason we grow cataracts is because we don't have good sunlight coming in to our eyes. I never
Yes.
thought about all of this stuff. It's almost
Yeah.
like the things we do to mass produce for convenience are killing us.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I've even
So
read
many
like where the
things.
sunglasses themselves then keep your body from doing what it needs to, you know, set right because of that too. So
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
go out without the sunglasses, Cammie's taught me, then your body doesn't get sunburnt
yeah.
because your melanin adjusts.
Mhm.
It knows you're going to be in the sun and it corrects. But wow, we've done everything wrong. And when she showed that picture with that Dasani water and all those brands, I despise Dasani water. That I used to work with the marketing people at Coca-Cola in my previous job, and they were telling us, oh, the biggest money maker for us in the future is going to be water. You know what they've done is they've made it junk. I read a study where it's the equivalent of toilet water. Literally, your toilet water is better than the Dasani water, and they strip out all the goodness. They put in chemicals that make us crave it, that, you know, that's not good. And so you're not really even drinking water. You're just drinking stuff that makes people on Wall Street money. And just like you were talking about light bulbs, it's so sad. It's all at our expense. We get marketed to, and it's all about how do we make shareholders richer, not how do we make people better, healthier, happier. And that's what I love about this company. Their heart and head is, you know, in the right spot, and they're just trying to make a difference and change it up. So we better adjust and have tools to counteract the toxic environment we live in. So
Oh,
amazing
drink
job,
bottled water.
Cami. Wow, that was really good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like another scratch the surface. I know there's a whole bunch more information, but I asked my daughter this afternoon, I'm like, if you were just new to this, what would you want to know? And she was like, why would I want to drink light? So that was the approach that I took today. But we can go deep into all of the different things. But again, it would take a whole lot more than 30 minutes. So we'll have to take it a chunk at a time.
I have a question. When can I get my machine?
So
I think you should be getting an email from them. I bet in the next
Oh, it
30
comes
days.
at it
Now,
as a,
if you came to the convention, Roger, and maybe this is a good reason to come. I know you have a conflict, but this is going to be so amazing. You can
you can
order it.
represent me and get me a machine.
You will get a machine if you go to that conference, and they will ship it to your house.
Ah.
Uh-huh. You've got to come. You have to
Well,
come. And
no,
you can-
I got my granddaughter going to UW, and
I know.
she's
But you can
moving
drive
to
to
a
her
dorm.
any weekend, right?
Yeah, that's a bad weekend.
I'm going to be in Texas next Tuesday, but I'll be on the call. But I'm really encouraging people. I had an opportunity to meet Roger and sit and talk with him down at Cami's beach house. I would encourage you to invite people to come and listen to the deep dive next week that Roger's going to do. That's a fascinating brain in his head. And I think people need to hear some of the stuff he knows, in particular about the stem cells. I will be watching in Texas.
Well, awesome. I'm going to be watching in Buckley.
we should stop recording.
Is it
Oh,
when
we
Bill
should.
he's an expert on 9 in water? Does